Yes, I know it's October. It's kind of barren over here. So I think once I say the title of the movie and the title card's gonna come up, there's gonna be something up here. So either way, I recently watched The Creator. Oh, I guess it worked. The Creator is the latest movie from Gareth Edwards. He was basically sent to quote-unquote director jail for a little bit because there were so many rumors about his last movie, Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, of just not really doing well behind the scenes. He took some time off and he made this movie, the Creator. And there has been a narrative push around it of, oh, it's an original sci-fi movie. Yeah, people want to support original movies. Sci-fi's pretty in right now. I get it. It's also the fact that the movie actually looks pretty good from a technical standpoint, at least for the visual effects, mainly because of its budget. It was only like an $80 million budget. It was shot on like a $3,000 camera, and they were like moving around at different locations, and it's something I admire. And the fact that Gareth Edwards has a background in visual effects and he knows what to shoot to make it look good actually kind of helped the movie in a little bit, like the smallest way possible for me. If you don't know what The Creator is about, basically it's set in the future and AI has taken over the world and subsequently banned in like the Western world. And so now John David Washington plays a soldier and he is sent to kill the creator of this AI who had made a weapon that could shift the tide in the war against AI. This weapon also happens to be in the form of a little kid that is also AI. I'm going to start off with the positives here because I'm trying to be nice. The best part about it is undoubtedly the visuals. Again, it's pretty impressive that this had an $80 million budget with so many movies that are just like bubbling up their budget, mainly because they were shot during COVID, but I don't think really anyone cares about that anymore. Like Indiana Jones had a $300 million budget. No Indiana Jones movie needs that kind of budget. But yeah, even as someone that I don't think you would like the movie, I really didn't. But the whole thing of, yeah, the visuals are impressive. And there are parts of it I just think, wow, that's just real. That's pretty cool of it. I also think the acting is okay in a couple areas. I really like the kid who played the little AI weapon, Madeleine Yuna Voyles. Pretty good actor. I forgot to mention that she's like 7 when this was shot, and this is her first role, and she's got a gift. I'm pretty impressed. And I'm afraid that's pretty much where my praise ends for the creator, because wow, this is incredibly boring. I understand calling this an original story, but when I was typing up the notes for this, I thought of the Theseus ship, like question of if you take all these different concepts from other science fiction movies, the ones I could think of off the top of my head were like Aliens, Blade Runner. There's even a little bit of Akira in here as well, but also just putting them that and many other sci-fi movies together, and also like putting it in an original world that undoubtedly you created. Like the writer created this new world and world building, but it's just riffing on so many other sci-fi movies, and that's usually not a problem with me. But it was laughable in this movie that just you could tell where this was going within the first 10 minutes. And for something that's like a 2-hour 15 epic described by Disney, that's not really that good. Even then, the writing just feels amateur at points. Like, I wanted to avoid saying this comparison, but I think it's very ironic that this is a movie so tied to the idea of AI and just like how good or bad it can be for this world, and its script genuinely feeling AI generated, like generated in real time. I was watching it. It was very weird and very ironic for a movie that is dealing with this kind of subject matter. Even the acting from John David Washington, who I typically like. He's been in pretty good movies. He was in Black Klansman and Tenet and was great in those movies. But the one-two punch of Amsterdam and now the creator just makes me sad. I think he's a cool actor. Put him in better movies. I will say though, I'm not going to spoil the ending because even if I don't like a movie, I'm not going to spoil it. But the ending, it kind of goes for the artsy, not like the artsy ending, not like a wrapped up ending. There's still loose ends. Although Gareth Edwards has said that there's not a sequel. And typically, I do respect that kind of ending for any movie, especially one of this scale. And it didn't earn it. It simply did not earn that kind of ending. And I actually got pretty mad. Like, I was one of the only people in the theater for this, and just that, yeah, I was very mad. Even the score from Hans Zimmer, no less, just feels surprisingly bland. Well, it's not really surprisingly bland. I feel like Hans Zimmer can just kind of not really churn out some good work sometimes. This happens to be one of them, because you get some Dunes from him, but you also get some creators from him. So you take what you can get. I do want to mention one thing that's a little bit outside of the movie itself, and that is the overall response to it. I don't typically mention this kind of thing in a review, but I feel like it's important to talk about this because it actually kind of affected how I was watching this movie. The responses to this were pretty okay across the board. It's not really exactly doing record-breaking numbers for critics and audiences, but it's a respectable amount. I think it's like in the high 60s. That's not horrible. But when I saw the conversation that I'm talking about started to rise up is when the box office came out. And that's not real, again, not something I want to mention, but it felt very specific to this movie and what it was marketing, what the creator was being marketed as, or maybe lack of marketing. At least here in North America, it opened to about like $14 million here. It was a bomb. I don't think it opened. It didn't open at number one at the box office. It didn't even open at number two. I'm pretty sure the new Saw movie came in above it, as well as the new Paw Patrol, which I guess it's Paw Patrol. I can't really blame them. But the conversation surrounding it is we're not going out to support original movies, and we're going to keep getting like remakes and the quote-unquote slop that has been coming out of Hollywood recently. And that just made me mad. It made me genuinely upset that people are saying this about, hey, people aren't going to see original movies. People are going to see original movies. It's just people aren't really responding to this one, I guess. There are people that went to see it. I went to see it. But it just really made me mad that it was being marketed as this big original sci-fi epic that is going to push boundaries and like be a commentary on AI, especially when it's such a hot topic right now. Hell, Mission Impossible made better arguments against AI than this. You could even twist the creator as an AI propaganda movie if you really want to go that far. Hell, the highest grossing movie of the year is technically an original movie, Barbie. You can twist that into an original movie because it makes sense. Hell, I would even argue that Mario, even though it's based on an IP, this is the first time we're getting an animated Mario movie, and people really landed with that. Same thing with Oppenheimer. People will go support the quote-unquote original movies that are good. And at least in the case of the creator, this is probably a big difference between, oh, it really wasn't marketed that much. I don't know how much this was marketed. To the high praise that it got out of like critic reactions at first. People were saying this was the best movie of the year. It was getting compared to Interstellar. And just, it didn't have that. At least in my opinion, it didn't. And what really sucks here is that there is potential in a movie like this. Hell, I could see it just looking at the trailer. A movie like The Creator being able to focus on, again, like how AI can be really bad but also kind of good for society. It's weighing those options, and at least in this kind of scale, it hasn't really gone that far before. So this could have easily been a very good movie, but also just write a better script, write better. Like, I'm not one to say to like make a better movie, but like it bothered me how much was this could have been a gold mine, and just it does absolutely nothing with it. So yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on the creator. I know I went on a bit of a tangent, but the wasted potential of an original sci-fi movie being like talked about like this is just very tragic. It's a shocking misfire for Gareth Edwards, which I liked his Godzilla movie. I still kind of like Rogue One, but this is just very shocking to see from a seasoned Hollywood director, at least like from my perspective, and just it came off as shockingly amateur. Okay, scratch that. It came off amateur from a writing perspective. A lot of the technical aspects are very good, but the really awful writing and script just outweighed the good stuff. I'm gonna give the creator a 1 out of 10. I think this is a crushing disappointment and is probably going to go down as one of the worst movies of the year for me. If not the worst movie of the year, which makes me very sad. I wasn't happy saying that. All right, what are your thoughts on the creator? Did you see it? Is there something where like did you like it? What did you like about it? I'm not one to put down your opinions or anything like that, but just let me know what you think of the creator if you've seen it in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.